For the longest time, squadron strength of the Indian Air Force has been depleting, and today we are at 29 squadrons.
Nobody, absolutely nobody, wants to share this technology with anybody.
What is the logic of buying a fourth generation aircraft when the world is talking about the fifth and sixth generation of aircraft?
They have spent so much on developing it. Why should they just give you on a platter? People who design and manufacture aero engines, there are just 4 countries.
Buy 10, because that is exactly what you're doing now, sir. I want to know your point of view about the Rafale, because everybody thinks it's absolutely mind-blowing. They're saying that India has never had a plane like that, like the Rafale. That is what many people say. What's your views?
It is software-defined radios. It is total net-centric warfare. And this is where we are moving, and this is the future. And for benefit of your viewers,
800-pound gorilla in the backseat of the car, and this is something that we must address. Because if the air chief is worried, then everybody else is worried, sir.
2 things, in my opinion, are marring HAL.
Dassault Aviation said no. They said, no, we can't do that. What is that magic number? What is that magic number, sir? So we are talking about 114 right now.
Yes.
What is that magic number? 150, 200? Where Dassault says, okay, here are the blueprints, here's the source code, carry on.
In geopolitics, a lot of things happen which we don't plan.
Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of Open Collar. I'm Major Gaurav Arya, and you're watching The Times of India. For the longest time, squadron strength of the Indian Air Force has been depleting, and today we are at 29 squadrons. And recently, the government of India took a decision to buy 114 Rafale aircraft. Now, what does it mean? Is it enough to significantly augment the squadron strength of the Indian Air Force? What is the technology behind this very popular and very famous aircraft? Today I have in the studios a very special guest, Air Marshal Sanjeev Kapoor, who's going to be talking and explaining all these finer points of this wonderful aircraft. Sir, Jai Hind and a very warm welcome, sir.
Thank you, Gaurav. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
Sir, so my first question is, the world is talking about 5th generation fighter aircraft, sir. The world is talking about F-35. Very recently, sir, there was a proposal by President Donald Trump in which he wanted India to buy the F-35. Now, India did not respond very positively to that outreach by the US President, and then there were talks about India buying the Su-57, joint production, complete transfer of technology, source code, engines, everything. And the Sukhoi people said that you can make it in Nasik. Because you're already making the Su-30, so you can make the Su-57 there as well. Suddenly, India goes back and says that no, we want a 4th generation fighter. 114 Rafale aircraft, 3.25 lakh crores, and in dollar terms, sir, 36 billion US dollars. What is the logic of buying a 4th generation aircraft when the world is talking about the 5th and 6th generation of aircraft, sir?
Okay, first to correct you, it's not 4th generation, it's 4.5 generation Rafales. I'll explain what is the difference and what is the rationale about what you asked. See, aircraft designing and manufacturing is a very complex process. Nobody, absolutely nobody, wants to share this technology with anybody. Let's be very clear. People who design and manufacture aero engines, there are just 4 countries. 1 or 2 are sharing amongst them, but there are primarily 4 countries, and they are not parting with this technology. It is not very simple to manufacture a jet engine. I'll put it for your viewers in simple language. It is the inside of a jet engine is at 1500 degrees centigrade, more than the lava temperature. You are sitting, the pilot is sitting on a pressure cooker with large amount of combustion forces below you. This technology to move the metallurgy, the test beds, the coatings which require to sustain these temperatures, the alloys which are required to manufacture. You need a test bench at sea level, you need a test bench at high altitude, you need test bench at various conditions. You will have to set up this thing, and it is not easy, because you have to simulate a bird hit, you have to simulate surge, you have to simulate stall, you have to see the performance of the aircraft in supersonic conditions. You have to evaluate all these things.
So please allow me to interrupt you, sir. Why the Rafale? Why a fourth or 4.5 generation, as you put it, sir?
It took months, years to evaluate the whole aeroplanes.
Sure.
So it emerged as one of the best contender for IAF, and IAF went and bought. In 2015, we signed the contract for 36 aeroplanes. After us, there are 8 countries. After India has evaluated, 8 countries have put in the request to buy Rafale to France. Navy is buying 26 of the same aeroplane in maritime version. To have interoperability with regards to its maintenance, its simulation, pilot training, ground crew training, setting up of facilities, we had far too many variants at many stages. So it goes with the logic that the aeroplanes which have done well in Op Sindoor, which have proven itself, which the weapons are being integrated, why should we go at this stage to get a new aeroplane? That is the simple answer to your question.
Sure. Now, initially when I said, and when they were talking about 2015, we should have Rafales now and 36 Rafales. Even at that point in time, sir, I had said that
Yes.
why not buy 10 squadrons?
Yes.
Buy 10, because that is exactly what you're doing now, sir.
Yeah. See, at that stage, if I recall in 2015, there were a lot of factors in which both the governments didn't agree. India was not as strong in 2015 what it is in 2025, 26. You must know this. We have come a long way, and if you see, you cover geopolitics in such a good manner that I think so everybody watches your program. Geopolitically, if you analyze after Op Sindoor, what is happening to India? Top heads of states from Europe, from Middle East, and from other parts of the world are coming to India. Why are they coming to India? Because India has proven that we are a defense manufacturer now. We are the largest market. We are going to become the 3rd largest economy, and we are in a position now to export things. And they can't go to Russia, they can't go to China. America is becoming untrustworthy. Which is the next power left? So in 2015 and 16, when India now sits down with France, because there will be negotiations, and at that stage in 2015, the cost, transfer of technology, and the other factors did not allow us in the negotiations to go in for a bulk deal. Money was also a big constraint, the kind of money the government. So as an interim measure, we bought 36 at that stage to buy, the interim time. But now we have matured, and after Op Sindoor, I feel this is the best decision the country could take.
But so don't you think we're paying more, sir? Because
it is not only the price of the platform.
Sir.
It comes, for your viewers, it comes a full encompassing. They will set up the infrastructure, they will set up the servicing OEM, set up MRO facility, they'll give weapons, they'll give sensors, they'll give integrated testers. It is just not the platform, it is the complete ecosystem around the aeroplane. So if there are 10 squadrons and they are going to be based in 5 or 7 bases, those bases should have simulators. Those bases should have training facilities. Those bases should have servicing facilities. All that is included in this cost. It is not, don't just divide by the figure. So that is what I would like to say.
X billion divided by 114, that's not true, sir.
No, that's not.
That's not true.
That's not.
So you're saying there is a complete, and of course there are life cycle costs,
yes,
and there are so many things.
Yes, they will support us for say 15 years. So they include the price of 15 years also into this. That for 15 years our people will come, they will help you to set it up. So all those prices are, our pilots will go there for training, our ground crew will go for training, our weapon people will go there for training.
And everything costs money.
Everything costs money. Their weapon, the testers and integrators will come here. So that costs money. So they will set up the full thing. It includes the cost of going, coming, staying. Everything is included in this package. So that's how it comes.
That's how it is calculated.
Yes.
So before I move on to the next question, I want to ask you from a layman perspective, because we're talking about fighter aircrafts and you said 4.5 generation, And I've spoken to a lot of people in the Air Force serving, and of course veterans, taken their point of view. I want to know your point of view about the Rafale, because everybody thinks it's absolutely mind-blowing. They're saying that India has never had a plane like that, like the Rafale. That is what many people say. What's your view, sir?
Absolutely. See, we took years. India is a very complex country to fly. For benefit of your viewers, we have to fly in Himalayas, which is at minus 40 degrees centigrade, the ambient temperatures outside. Heights are about 28,000. The same platform, the same pilot has to fly in deserts, where the temperature is above 50 degrees in Jaisalmer and beyond. The same aircraft has to fly maritime role over sea, whereas there is dam. The same platform, the same pilot has to fly in the jungles of Northeast, where there is, absolute thick vegetation. So we need a platform which is compatible for all the roles, for all these things, and that's how the trials were done. It took time. Now at this stage we don't have time to keep trying new platforms and new this thing. And now the upgrades for these platforms have come. You want to improve AES air radar, you want to improve electronic warfare suits, you want to improve net-centric warfare suits, you want to improve any of these things. They are just plug in and plug out. So the integrated modular concepts are there. You pull out one thing and the next version is inserted, and that's how it works today.
It's like fitting a battery in a torch, sir.
Yeah.
You
So
take it
the
out.
advanced battery will come, so that will give you more life, more this thing. So that's how it is.
Sure, sir. So people are also talking about indigenous weapons which can be fitted into the Rafale. They're talking about secure data links and all of that, sir. And this is the discussion that is happening in the media. Now, much of this is not open to discussion by the Air Force. They would rather not discuss all this stuff in the open domain. So what's your sensing? What's your feeling?
See, for your viewers, the 6th generation aeroplane, which the US, NGAD, UK, the French,
Sure.
the British, the Japanese are making, those platforms will be manned and unmanned combination totally on AI. See where the warfare is going. The 4th gen, the pilot was the king. Situational awareness, he had the controls. 4.5, little bit of support started coming in. His decision making was supported. 5th generation, it is all information warfare. Before anything happens, the complete information starts coming to the pilot from a distance place, and he should not be tracked by the enemy radar.
Also the ability to deny information
Yes,
to the enemy?
to deny information.
Then it becomes warfare, sir.
Warfare, yeah. So we deny our information. It is software-defined radios. It is total net-centric warfare, and this is where we are moving, and this is the future. And for benefit of your viewers, the Ops Sindoor, we worked on artificial intelligence. The L-70 guns, Shilka, Zu-23, Pechoras, all these were integrated with ISECS, Akash. It happened with AI. So the sensor shooter combination right from Leh to Bhuj was integrated by our own people with artificial intelligence. So why shouldn't the capability which we are developing not be used for the platforms which you are buying?
I absolutely agree, sir. Now, again, media reports suggest that 80% of the aircraft out of this 114 are going to be made in India, and we'll buy some in a flyaway condition from Dassault in France, sir. So 80%. Let's say they make 80% of these aircraft in India, sir. What does it do to our manufacturing ecosystem, sir? How does it impact our manufacturing ecosystem?
Wonderful question. What has happened after C295, which we did the same model. We brought 16 in flyaway conditions and 40 we are manufacturing in Vadodara.
So, sir.
The TSL, the Tata Aerospace Limited, has gone in collaboration. If you recall, a few months ago, the Prime Minister inaugurated M88 Safran engine facility in Hyderabad.
Sure.
With over 530 assured orders of Rafale with France, their capability to produce engines is not as much in their main plant.
So I'm sorry for interrupting, just to tell the viewers that M88 is the engine that powers the Rafale. The Rafale's engine is called M88. That is, and it's manufactured by a company called Safran, and that is exactly what sir was referring to. So sorry, please.
So this facility is set up in Hyderabad.
Jay.
Tata Aerospace is already manufacturing the airframe for Rafale. It's already manufactured.
Sure.
So what I was reading, I'm not privy to anything, and that in Nagpur, around Nagpur, they are wanting to set up a facility to not only provide these 114 which India is looking at, there are other countries like Indonesia, Ukraine, Qatar, Egypt, who have placed huge demands. Serbia, Croatia, they are all wanting Rafales. Where will they produce? They need an outsource. So with the Indian companies pitching in to manufacture, it will be composites, it will be wiring, it will be radar systems, it will be integrated electronics. These would be manufactured by our own company. So this will bring in an ecosystem around us, which will help us in our own development of AMCA and the subsequent aeroplanes.
Sir, before India bought Rafales, nobody was willing to buy Rafales.
Yes.
Only the French Air Force and the French Navy used the Rafales.
Yes.
And when we decided to buy 36, suddenly we can't seem to be able to get Rafales because...
No, it is like, I'll put it simply, it's like US visa. Your passport has US visa, you get entry into a lot of other countries, visa on arrival. Similarly, if India evaluates some platform and they say this is the best, the other feel that they have taken 3 years to evaluate, why should we go through this process? So they just said that if IAF is bought, they must have done every check.
So you're saying, sir, that our evaluation standards are so stringent?
Yes, absolutely. Our test pilots and our mechanism of all the things which I just told you, sure. Deserts, high altitude, mountains, sea, coastal regions, jungle areas, all these are evaluated. So it fits into everybody's bucket list if they wish to buy. So that is my take.
So we have this concept of an authorized squadron strength of 42. Now this question has been done to death, sir.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure you have been asked this question 100 times before.
Yes.
I myself have asked you this question so many times, sir,
yes.
in our conversations. My question is, sir, that we have about 6 Jaguar squadrons, sir. And those are going to be on the phasing out route very shortly in the next 4-5 years. We're going to be left with very few squadrons. About this whole 42 squadrons, sir, is there a way by which we plan to reach 42? Because even this 42 is a compromise. It was earlier 65 by the JRD Tata committee set up in the 60s after the 62 war, sir. They set up a committee. JRD Tata was the chairman, just for the benefit of our viewers. And JRD Tata, his committee recommended 65 squadrons for the Indian Air Force. Then they said 42 for some reason, and today we are at 42, but we have 29 on ground, sir. So 42
You are absolutely correct, Gaurav. In the coming years, if we don't refill, the numbers may drop to mid-20s by end of this decade.
Because 6 squadrons gone, sir.
They will not go together, maybe
Yes, sir.
32, 34, we can pull them on.
Yes, sir.
But you are absolutely right that the degradation in the squadron strength will happen.
Sure.
Now, till we get our own manufacturing up, that is our LCA, Mark 1 Alpha, Mark 2s and AMCA, this is supposed to fill up. Eventual plan is to have Su-30s, LCAs, MRFA, these Rafales, and AMCA. So this is the end list, short inventory in the sense, not the numbers, the types of aeroplanes, and have like I was reading somewhere, the Americans just want to have F-15EX, F-35s, and the 6th generation fighter. They want to do away with all the other aeroplanes. So this is their plan now.
Because less inventory, less headache.
Yes, and interoperability is there. The same pilot can go and fly there, the same training, the same support services. So India is also thinking in that direction because we had far too many variants. And when a pilot or an engineer or a technician had to convert from one platform, the process is too time consuming. Here it is just for your benefit in civil also, an Airbus 319, 320, 321, 340, 350, 380 has similar cockpit. A lot of people don't know. So when a pilot in commercial airline has to transition from one platform to the other,
it's easy.
It's easy. So the layout is similar, the switches are similar, the procedures, it is just the platform specific things he has to learn and get used to it. Otherwise, so we are working towards that side in aviation.
This is just like in the army, sir. You have, you have 7.62 into 39 for the AK, sir. Then you have the 7.62 for the the medium machine guns, and you have 5.56, and you have 9 mm, and you have So you say, okay, move to maybe 2 calibers.
Absolutely.
It's something like that.
Absolutely.
A more manageable sort of thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, at that stage in 60s, 70s, 80s, we had no option. Whosoever gave us something in whatsoever condition, in whatsoever barter system, or
we had to take.
We had to take because.
Yes,
but today we can demand. Today we say no. You give us this TOT. You give us this source code. You give us this, and people are now listening to us. That is my take.
Sure. Now, the engine is the heart of the aircraft. And it was you who told me, sir, over a conversation, over coffee, you said that the engine is actually designed, the aircraft, I beg your pardon, sir, the aircraft is designed around the engine. So the engine is the heart of the aircraft.
Correct.
Now, there are 2 engines by the GE people, sir. The 404 and the 414, sir. And for the information of our viewers, the F-404 powers the Mark 1 Tejas and the F-414 powers the Mark 2 Tejas.
And AMCA also.
And AMCA also, sir. Yeah. The question here is, the Air Chief was not too happy. And I'm going to get into that also, sir, at a later stage, because that is the 800-pound gorilla in the backseat of the car, and this is something that we must address. Because if the Air Chief is worried, then everybody else is worried, sir. So my question to you is, sir, that, Safran is saying that we'll create a new engine for you from scratch. They're also saying the M88 we'll make in India, and they're talking about transfer of technology. So M88, as we discussed, sir, is the engine that powers the Rafale. Now, another more powerful engine, maybe for future variants of AMCA, is coming up, and 2 engines by GE, out of which 414 is, they're talking about the transfer of technology, sir. Now, if the countries are so secretive about jet engine technology, which is the holy grail of military technology, sir. I mean, if you have cracked jet engines, you have cracked everything.
Everything, yes.
Everything.
Absolutely.
Why are they giving us this technology now? Why have they agreed to give us?
They will not give you the latest. They'll give you 1 down or 2 down.
Even now, sir?
Yes. No country gives the best equipment to the other country.
Irrespective.
Irrespective. Now, F-16, I gave you example, is with 25 air forces, F-16s. And in a conflict a couple of years ago, skirmish, the Turkish F-16 took on the Greek F-16s. It is possible that the Americans will have to someday fight with
an ally.
Adversary, ally earlier, now an adversary, using their own platforms.
And in today's geopolitical scenario, it looks very likely. Very likely.
So they are ahead. You have to give it to the Americans. They are way ahead. America has an aggressor squadron. The Air Forces have a concept wherein in their Air Force they create a setup wherein you simulate yourself as enemy.
Sure.
And in that enemy aggressor vertical, they have F-16s. So it should not happen that their own given platforms, the best ones, be used against them. The GE F-17 which the Chinese are given to Pakistan are much degraded, which they are telling, and now telling the whole world that they are buying.
They are not actually.
This is a poor version. This is a poor version of the original one.
So I just want to ask you, even the F-35s,
yes,
a 5th generation fighter jet that they have given to Israel is 1 down, sir.
Absolutely.
It is not the same
Absolutely.
F-35.
And F-22, the high end, they are not exporting only to anybody.
They don't give.
They'll not give. Why will they not give? They want to keep it because they have developed. They have spent so much on developing it. Why should they just give you on a platter? So these are a few reasons in my appreciation.
Sir, again regarding the engine, sir. They will give you an engine which is 1 down or 2 down, sir.
Yes.
Right, sir? Not the latest.
Correct.
But something which is slightly older.
Correct.
Will that technology help us in creating a more advanced engine?
Absolutely. See, till you have a product with you, you cannot. See, Chinese are also struggling. The Chinese, it's not rosy for them. They may, fly some aeroplane for media or in the parade in Tiananmen Square. They showcase their dongfangs and their equipments. But heart of heart, they have also not mastered the R-31 and those engines which they have reverse engineered from Russia, and they took some technology from here across the world and started developing the 5th and 6th generation. They are struggling because the finish required for engine manufacturing has not fully been understood by very many countries. And towards this, if we get, 120 kilonewtons is what is desirable. 105, 110, the Kaveri which we developed, the GTRE, took too long. And around 3 decades ago, we settled for 404. So the airframe of Tejas was designed around 404 engine. So
the F-404, which we are getting today,
yes,
which we are struggling for, by the way,
yes,
is 4 decades old.
About 3 decades old.
3 decades plus.
Yes, 3 decades plus. But it's a proven aircraft. So the airframe of Tejas, Mark 1, Mark 2, everything, is designed around this engine. So now we cannot go and say, because we have to go back to the drawing board again. So we will have to go for these engines. Now we are requesting them that you give us this engine and this transfer technology so that we can, that is the answer to your question. How much they agree, how much they are willing to give, that time will only tell. But this is the area where we have to work. And a lot of people say, why can't private sector come in? Why can't Tata, they can come in? Firstly, they would not be very comfortable transferring technology to a private company unless they have established contacts. And the best part in these advanced countries is that their aviation companies are manufacturing both for private and military, same company. So Boeing is manufacturing aircraft for armed forces and for the civil. The Airbus is manufacturing for armed forces, civil. Lockheed is manufacturing for civil, armed forces. Russian aircraft also are being manufactured for this thing. That SG-100.
Sukhoi also has a passenger aircraft.
Yes.
Very surprising.
Yes. So they are all manufacturing.
That's how they make money.
So now the HAL and should now, and for the 5th generation, the suggestion had gone, and all you people and together pressure which has come. Now after this thing, the HAL has opened their AMCA project to the private players. I was reading somewhere they have invited 4 private players with 12.5% equity and 50% will be HAL. You can come and bid and we will collaborate and we will manufacture the 5th generation. But this gap of operationalization of AMCA, which the Raksha Mantri said by 2035, and we are about 10 years away from that, is the period which is worrisome. Because both northern and western adversary, if they get the 5th generation fighter, we should have some platform, and if we get a platform, you are right, if we get say Su-57 or F-35, because India has never bought an American jet ever, fighter jet.
Yes,
India. So
transport, yes. Helicopter, yes.
But not
fighter.
Not fighter. So the help which we will get by getting a 5th aeroplane will tell us about our own development of AMCA. The air crew, the ground crew, the technician, the ecosystem, the MROs and others, will be helpful in improving our own produced AMCA.
Absolutely, sir. You mentioned HAL, sir, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. I want to ask you, sir. I want to ask you very seriously, because we saw the air chief. He was there is no other way to say it. He was pretty cut up, sir. And he's been a test pilot for HAL, sir.
Yes.
How do we solve this problem? So there are 2 things that are often discussed. A, you completely privatize it and you say that, okay, the government bites the bullet and says that, okay, here is an order for 100, 150 jets. Now this is a lucrative order. You have it in your books and we want to just simply give it to a Tata or a XYZ, whichever private company wants to do it. Otherwise, sir, there is another way to do it. Like, for example, the AK-203 for the army, sir.
Yeah, which is being manufactured.
So there is a serving major general who's the head, sir.
Yes.
So you have a serving 3-star who's the chairman of HAL, and then the air chief can talk to him, and that's the end of the story. I mean, you change the inside functioning, so you have more people from the Air Force, and let the Air Force control it.
See, HAL was headed by Air Force at one stage.
Yes, sir.
It is not that the HAL doesn't have the infrastructure or the wherewithal to manufacture. 2 things, in my opinion, are marring HAL. One is their program management, and second is their accountability. The accountability factor is the weakest link, because the timelines are slipping. The project management team is shifting the deadlines year after year, month after year. There is nobody. So if you see the fundamental design, the Secretary of Defence Production, the DRDO, the HAL, the ADA, the NFTC, the Indian Air Force, that is the user, they all come under in one ministry, that is Ministry of Defence. So fundamentally, now sending an Air Force guy to head this thing could have been better earlier, but today it may lead to tough wars, it may lead to, hard, wired kind of a thought process. So the best solution in my opinion is to pick up the best professionals and run this company professionally. Because there was a stage when the government used to manufacture bread also, used to make two-wheelers also, used to HMT watches also, used to run Ashoka Hotel also, Samrat Hotel also. That time has gone. So time has come, in my opinion, to run HAL through a professionally managed verticals. They could go in a systematic way, like they privatized Air India now. So there is a case in point wherein the serving people on deputation, because they will tell you what is required. The people who have had experience, all engineers, test pilots, could form a team of core people in designing and to set up test benches across for sea level, high altitude. There is a test bench for bird hit also, for your viewers. They simulate that a bird has hit. There is another thing called super cruise. You go supersonic without engaging rehits.
Sure.
So those kind of test beds are needed. How to develop those test beds? Nobody will give you. So here you need professionals to guide you. So this is the kind of changes in HAL I feel are required through, and it has to be driven. The key projects in this country, be it space, be it missiles, be it nuclear, are directly under PMO. Why can't this aircraft design and manufacturing vertical be directly monitored by PMO?
Sure.
In that, what will happen is the approvals, the sanctioning of funds, and the real-time help which would be needed would be coming fast. This is my personal, suggestion.
So, my last question to you is, a lot of people have spoken about source codes. So during Operation Sindoor, we said that we want to integrate maybe the BrahMos or maybe some other indigenously manufactured platform. Astras and, so BrahMos for the Sukhois and Astras for the Rafales and all that. And Dassault Aviation said no. They said, no, we can't do that. What is that magic number? What is that magic number, sir? So we are talking about 114 right now.
Yes.
What is that magic number? 150, 200? Where Dassault says, okay, here are the blueprints, here's the source code, carry on.
The global figure to you, what question you asked, in my opinion, and which I have read everywhere,
Sir.
is around 200 to 250 platforms. Between 200 to 250 platforms, if you order,
Sir.
they are willing to transfer, not less than that.
Sure.
And this source code also, what they will give is obviously 1 or 2 down, and what they will give you, their people would be there to oversee the integration part. So that is how they always work. That is how we have to become an aerospace power. We are launching our own spacecrafts. We are launching our own, people. Now Gaganyaan is going, astronauts are going to go up. We just finished with Shubhanshu Shukla.
Sure.
So more such people will be going. I feel the time has come to integrate the people from ISRO vertical, the private sector and HAL to co-develop these and use the facilities at all these places together in the national interest to become an aerospace power in the coming years.
I said last question, but let this be my last question, sir.
Okay.
You said 200 aircraft, approximately. We are almost at 200, sir. We ordered 36 earlier. We are ordering 114 now, 26 for the Navy.
But that we have already signed, we bought piecemeal.
That is the problem, sir.
Yes.
Piecemeal approach.
Piecemeal approach. So it should have been at a national level. But 2015, we may not have had 3.25 lakh crores to spare.
Sure.
Because
understood, sir. You've already explained that point.
So now
yes,
we have, so this is what we will get in this money.
Sure.
But it's in geopolitics, a lot of things happen which we don't plan over the table.
Yes, sir.
And with EU needing India much more than before,
Sure.
I'm hopeful that things will look up.
Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the first episode of Open Collar. This episode is going to be available in a few hours on YouTube, the Times of India YouTube. Keep watching. We'll be back again shortly with another special guest. Till then, Jai Hind.